The entire team at the Emsolation podcast acknowledges the traditional custodians and cultures of the lands and seas on which we live and work. We pay our respects to all First Nations peoples, elders and ancestors. We acknowledge that sovereignty was never ceded and stand in solidarity towards a shared future. I personally want to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which I record this podcast every week, the Wurundjeri people. I recognise their continued connection to the land and waters of this beautiful place I call home. Always was, always will be.
This is Free Time Tuesday on Emsolation with Em Rusciano.
Well, hello there and welcome to Emsolation. My name is Em Rusciano. I'm a writer, a singer, a stand-up comedian, a maximalist power queen, a neurodivergent magic brain, and this is Free Time Tuesday. Okay, I'm going to need you to take a big breath and exhale it because you're going to need to gird, prepare, lube, whatever you do when something large and possibly uncomfortable is coming at you. My friend Reuben Kaye stopped by the Down the Hill studios and we had almost an hour of non-stop chaos. And when I say this, at least when it's Michael and I, there's yin and yang. It's just yin and yin today. If you're not aware of who Ruby is, you will be by the end of this. He is and I'll say this absolutely not just because I know he'll be listening, and this will be the only time he listens to this podcast because it's about him. I understand that. He's my favourite Australian live performer, easily. And he sings, he dances, he has an incredible band on stage with him. He is unapologetically political. He is so talented. God damn it. And I love it. I was first introduced to him by a friend who rang me after she'd seen his show one night. She just said, Em, I have seen the male version of you and you and he need to meet and he is spectacular. And it's true. I stalked him. I went to see his show. I found him on Instagram and I said, I would like to be friends. And he obviously went and looked me up and said, I would like to be friends too. And a beautiful friendship was born. We don't see each other very often because he is travelling all around the world at all times. He hosts cabaret shows in far-off places, very glamorous, Berlin. He's done burlesque in Paris. He's incredible, 6'4", jaw you could cut glass on. Incredible in drag. I can't say enough good things about the man you're about to hear me sit down with. If you ever get the chance to see Reuben Kaye live, you will not be disappointed. You will walk away just feeling like horny and traumatized and born again all at once. So all I can say to you is it's about to get fast and loud, and I tried to make this intro as calm as possible because there was no masking. There was just two people who function at a very high frequency, bouncing off each other. It's a bit of a joke-a-thon for the first 10 minutes till we settle in. But, yeah, I know you're going to love him. Look, if you're here and you love me, you're going to love Ruby. Please enjoy my friend, Reuben Kaye.
I want a TripAdvisor review.
Is that a thing?
I want the Airbnb of cocks.
Is there a Yelp for cocks?
Only when they're too big.
Oh, what, like a penis service announcement? Is that what that is?
We should start an app.
It's like...
And call it Hole Pick. But WHOLE Pick? What would you call the TripAdvisor for dick? Whorebnb? No.
Dick Advisor.
Dick Advisor.
Rate my dick. Dick paint. I can't come up with them.
Cum Queens with a Z?
Cum Queens.
What?
Wangopedia.
Wangopedia. Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bears, load-bearing pillars of our community.
Hi, gay.
Indeed.
No, you do not have a sound effect board.
Yeah.
Hi, gay.
Yeah.
You are part of the problem.
I have the RuPaul shade one.
What else do you have?
My son saying fucking hell.
Gone.
What the fucking hell?
Yeah. I have a harp when we want to change subjects. It's the Segway harp.
Camp Segway harp.
And you don't have to make sense. Just press it and you're off.
Fair. I have something similar on my phone, which I really enjoy using. And I find it really... Where is it here?
What do you do? Just walk around pointing it at people?
Yeah, it's this.
Game of Thrones.
It's the Game of Thrones shame bell.
Cersei walking.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Every time me and Andy, my writing partner, and he comes up with something which I'm like, A, it's either too awful to put out or it's not very good. I just go,
I love that. Reuben Kaye, I should probably let people know you're here. Shame.
Hi,
oh,
Gay.
God.
Reuben Kaye, international diva, model, superstar, comedian, cabaret artist. There's so many of my favourite ones. You're officially...
What happens if you tell your children they can be anything?
Yep. Absolutely. It's the kind of thing if you look at me now, obviously I'm in civilians, but once you look at the
No.
Says the woman with a peaches and cream Barbie here, which might as well just be called bareback Barbie.
Thank you.
That's my toy. It is a choking hazard.
Also the name of your autobiography. I think that this is the 1985 Peaches and Cream Barbie, like this is vintage.
Yeah, it's great.
This is important. And next to John Farnham's Whispering Jack and Mufasa, who I'm sexually attracted to. These are all the important things.
And I was also labelled by Disney the dark, shadowy place he told us not to go.
We're off. We're on. No one's safe. I just want to point out, you and I started solo shows because of the same person.
Who?
Simone.
Oh, yep.
Butterfly Club.
Yep.
So Reuben Kaye is the type of man who'd been going around just being the Frankenfurter of cabaret.
Fair.
The ringmaster, right? So
That's what they call me.
You
How did you not see that?
Hi, Gay.
Also the name of his autobiography.
Also,
We're never going to get through.
ghost written by Simone. So I'm just going to do 1 second.
Hi, Gay.
So Simone Pulga is the artistic kind of creative head of the Butterfly Club, this venue in Melbourne. This
Creative head. Also, I'm going to stop.
Creative-
Go.
Hi, Gay.
and
So wait, before we get to Butterfly Club,
Yep.
all right? We've got to have some kind of, because my editor Zeke's out there going, fuck, I'm not going home today.
Yeah.
So you started out, can we go, because I don't know. I don't know
Words,
what's that.
words.
So my friend Janelle Koenig, who has co-written with me and directed a lot of my stuff,
Yep.
she came across you at something in Perth and she sent me a message. It was 2 a.m. Melbourne time and she said, I've just seen your male equivalent.
Like giving a hand job to an octogenarian before prostate surgery. Tonight has been a long time coming. And for those of you who don't know who I am, that's homophobia. Because I'm an inspiration, an aberration, and an unbeatable argument for retroactive birth control. I'm a proud gay man, but I'm also the reason there's a lock on the closet door. I don't want to say I'm too effeminate, but in kindergarten, when the nurse saw me run, she said either that kid is gay or he has polio. Either way, we'll need a lot of penicillin.
He's spectacular. You and he need to be together. I don't know. And I'm like, God, I've never heard her because she's always monotone. Nothing. You know Janelle. She's very calm.
yeah, exactly. She's
Yeah.
like a modem that really let itself go. And I say that with love
love
because
that.
she's fab.
She's so fab. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I Googled you. And then that was it.
I felt it.
Fuck, you did, didn't you? You just started
I once-
dilating for some reason. You're
I
like,
once told my mum that I had Googled myself, and my mum, without skipping a beat, went, well, I hope you used a good lubricant. How fab, how camp.
But I was like, why haven't I ever, where has this man been? So why in 2016 when Simone from the Butterfly Club, where have you been all our lives?
I am the world's oldest overnight success. I have the forehead of a 21-year-old, but the neck and lower back of Shelley Winters.
Sorry,
Poseidon Adventure.
I just need a bulldog clip. Someone needs to invent that rug and just one bulldog clip at the back. Just make it.
They need to. It's a real alloy. It's a certain metal that can take the strain.
You're going for a thread lift and they're like, oh, no, sorry.
Oh, they're using the same ropes they have on the Sydney Harbour Bridge. Just those big steel cables.
They use it all when we put the NBN in. There's no more copper wire left. Oh.
No, Sam Newman took it all for his face. I want the Sam Newman. Can I have the Sam Newman? Except I understand what consent is.
Is this just going to be... Okay, go. Come on.
It's going to be...
Joke pylon.
Joke pylon and reference... Also the name of my autobiography.
Hi, gay.
Wait. We're palate cleansing. We're sweaty. Where have you been?
Today?
No.
Oh, where have I been?
Listen, this is a lot of people's first introduction to you.
I'm so sorry for you all.
No, they're used to me. It's fine.
Oh, great.
But I need them,
They have a shorthand.
I want you to...
Okay,
I want them to understand who you are.
Some real solid info. I was like a young gay kid.
What?
And what?
You're gay?
And my parents basically said, well, you're doing musicals.
Oh, so they encouraged musicals straight off the bat.
No.
Okay.
They were like, please be a plumber or an accountant or a funeral director because you'll never run out of work.
Wow.
Because my mum is a filmmaker, was a dancer.
Can you just say just do your mum's voice telling you to do that?
Oh, she was like, Reuben, it would be really useful if you would be like a plumber or an accountant or a funeral director. Because you will never run out of work. And the creative field is treacherous.
And when you came out, she said?
Well, first off, my stepfather went, well, duh, which
Fair.
is a great
Fair.
anticlimax. And my mum said, it is a mystery to me why you think I'm interested. It is none of my business who you sleep with, just as it is none of your business who I sleep with. To which I was like, Mum, who are you sleeping with? And she said, none of your business. My mum is from East Berlin, and to kind of get a handle on her personality, she left East Berlin, then they put the wall up. So you do the math, right? So I did musicals, I did musical theatre, I did musicals, and I hated it. This might be some recognisable things for you, Em. People telling you what to do.
Nope.
People saying that you have to...
Share the stage with other people and let them have their turn.
Can't do it.
Nope.
Won't do it.
Not
Never
interested.
will. No. Also, sit in a hierarchy and be treated accordingly.
Yeah.
Because you know this in musical theatre. They treat you like you're still in school. Mm-hmm. And for people like us, school wasn't...
A fun place.
No, and we're naturally iconoclastic, naturally rebellious. So the minute someone tries to put parameters, the first thing we want to do is push back against them.
Absolutely.
Because part of the way you affirm your identity is that, for me at least. And then I did musicals. I was in Evita, and I was the Magaldi. And he's the guy who sings, on this night of 1,000 stars, in London and touring. And I'm the only place in the show where there are laughs. Everything else is uterine cancer and fascism, right?
And to be fair, not hilarious, but if you're good enough.
And ain't nobody can get a laugh out of Argentinian fascism and uterine cancer like me. That came out wrong. Not...
Go.
So, but I hated it. I really disliked it. It wasn't a good fit. And then I was in London and I saw the cabaret scene. And unlike stand-up comedy, which at the time was super masked, super white, super like, my girlfriend, but like we never need to see another man in a flannel shirt up against a brick wall with something to get off his chest.
Don't get me started. This is my eyes twitching. Sorry, I'm just going to leave the...
I can see it. You've got it. Your nose has started bleeding. It's a stress fracture.
She's passed out. But yet they'll still keep coming.
They will not end.
Ever. Like I said to you, we caught up Saturday. Louis C.K. and Dave Chappelle nominated
for a Grammy.
For their comedy albums.
All of them, just fucking, and they never stop coming. They're just lemmings throwing themselves off the cliffs of attention.
He's so awful. And the fact that he was here in this country playing sold-out shows. How quickly people forget. Hey?
How upsetting.
Yeah. So you saw stand-up comedy, that's not for me. You saw cabaret and you're like...
cabaret,
oh.
And the host was up there singing songs, talking shit.
Check.
But entirely their own creative kind
flawless.
of remit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I was like, I can wear what I want to wear. I can say what I want to say. I can sing what I want to sing, how I want to sing it. And no one's going to tell me, oh, it doesn't fit into this style. I can mash up the genres. I can absolutely play and break forms and break rules and interact with audiences. And it can be different every night because every night you feel different and every night the audience feels different. And in the musical, I would come in, I'd be like, the audience is not going to laugh at this gag tonight. And you weren't allowed to change it because it's show business.
Yeah.
The show is frozen. That's the term. They freeze the show so that every night is the same. I'm like, well, I feel different every day. The audience is different every day. It should be tailored. It should be special. And that's, for me, where the spark, the fire, the fun is. The risk as well. And what's that? It has to have that element of edge. And so I dove in head first. And then pretty soon it was sort of like, well, come to Berlin for the Berlin Burlesque Festival. We're going to book you in Stockholm. We're going to book you in Paris. And I just, for about, I would say 5 years, I just did the European and UK cabaret circuit, building my aesthetic, building my crowd work, building my...
Second to none. Maybe me.
Oh. Yeah, but you have much bigger crowds to work.
No, not true. Well,
sold out the Sydney Music Bowl.
Thank you very much.
Played the Palais.
Yeah, but in time, bitch. Now they know about you. It's over for me, isn't it? I'm trying to desperately get on the coattails before he goes up.
Well, please have one of these pastries I've bought. Just there's nothing wrong with them at all. Ignore the skull and crossbones floating above them in green. Gorgeous.
I will be eating those, but not now.
I was actually going to bring in vanilla slices for us to eat.
Do you want me to shit my pants?
On air. Yes. Yes, I do.
No, your crowd work is
that's the best
impeccable.
part. Because also, can I say, there's a lot of people who do crowd work with cruelty as their first option.
Oh, what about where you're from? Oh, really? That's your first question. Really? And then make fun of the socioeconomic status of the suburb that person's from.
Or make fun of what they're wearing.
Oh.
Or all this stuff.
Don't do that.
Or can I say, a lot of queer comics especially, or drag specifically, start going in on members of their own community. They go in on lesbians.
True.
They go in on bisexual men. They do that. So I'm just like, okay, hang on. Every single one in this room has been through some shit. Can we please use crowd work? Because you can be funny without being an asshole.
I do go in on straight men.
They have.
Because to be fair, in a crowd of, say, 3,000, there'll be 10 of them.
Correct.
And I make them all stand up.
Great.
And I say, for once in your life, you won't be safe when you go to the toilets. You will need to walk back to your car armed with keys. You will be teased for what you're wearing and judged by what you're wearing. I can see your ankles, you sluts.
I will.
That's what I do.
Because I make them all scream based on their demographics.
Yeah.
And when straight men are the very last.
Yeah.
And I go, oh, there was a bit of a tinge of fear in that sound,
Exactly.
wasn't there?
Yeah.
I think someone might have just realised they're not in the majority anymore.
We punch up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, otherwise not interested.
Yeah.
But, the crowd work, fuck, you're good at it. I just remember I saw Butcher's back and we took my daughters and it was changed their life too. But I just remember thinking, I often sit with performers and I know you do the same. I have a very high standard and I'll have my radar on for something like, oh, come on, like fucking fill the space, get that energy up, have a point, have a purpose, have a meaning. Don't tell me a story about some irreverent thing that happened and think I'm going to find you delightful. Like, why am I here? And you deliver that to me in 5 seconds.
I get bored.
Me too.
Where's the effort?
Where's the effort? As I said to you, I don't want to look like a member of crew. I don't want someone asking me where the toilets are. Please don't mistake me.
I do want someone to ask me where the toilets are, but I will give them a very specific answer because I will also tell them which cubicle I am in. You're speaking to someone whose version of safe sex is knee pads and a stack hat.
Hi, gay.
Sorry.
I'm not a slut. I'm a people person.
I
So I was in Europe doing this.
Yes.
And Simone basically said to me...
Owner of the Butterfly Club, first place I ever did stand up in my life.
Right.
Because of him.
But also, it's one of the only places in Melbourne at that time that was a celebration of outsiders, a celebration of queer people, like a safe space without declaring it was a safe space.
Yeah, absolutely. As soon as you walked in, it was like your eccentric lesbian aunt's chateau.
Exactly right.
Like it also looks like my house.
Yeah. You could
It's
get like
stunning.
a Mai Tai or a mammogram in the same room and feel fine.
Yes, and there'd be a stray cat sitting on your lap. They'd have slippers if you need them, or stilettos, or someone doing coke in the bathroom. Like it gave everything you needed and more.
That's the vibe I want at my sexual health centre and possibly like a family planning. There should be a
love that.
cat. There should be like soft indirect lighting.
Absolutely.
I don't go for mammograms and any kind of gynecological exam since
Yet.
the doctors filed a complaint.
Say never.
I said, please, Reuben, you cannot bring your own speculum. Well, mine's temperature controlled. Yes, Reuben, but it's velour. It doesn't work. But I like the texture.
Wait, so Butterfly Club, 4 outsiders.
And he just
incredible.
calls me and he goes, I'm giving you a room at Comedy Fest. You have no choice in this. You have to do a solo show. I'm giving you a room for the last 2 weeks of Melbourne Comedy Festival. You have to do a solo show.
Wow.
It's time. And me, again, we've talked about this before, not good at making decisions, but once I'm in the flow, like, cannot stop me. But the minute it's
It's
like,
almost like a hyperfixation.
stop.
Keep going. We'll talk about that.
We'll talk
Keep
about
going.
that later.
Yeah, go.
And I said, okay, great. And I booked the flight. And I think I was still scribbling on that flight. Love a deadline. And the idea of going, well, I can write it on the plane. 24 hours, just
You can. It's probably the best material you ever write.
legitimately did.
I write an entire show over months, and then I get on stage, and Zeke is in my band. He knows. I very rarely deliver the script. Very rarely. It's my scaffolding,
Yeah.
but I'll get on stage and the band know we've run the script. We know all the cues because I've got a band too, so they've got to come in and out on
Yeah.
stuff. And then 5 minutes in, I'm looking over at everyone. They're like, oh, fuck, she hasn't even started. I just tell people, I haven't even started the show. So my show's just crept from 60 minutes to 90 minutes to 2 hours.
Yeah.
But I think...
That's perfect. And
yeah.
I think, to be honest, I think I'm heading in that direction for sure because my show starts at 65 minutes
Yeah.
on the first time. And then by the end, like, well, we have to tell people this is a 90-minute show.
Yes.
And then the last night of Comedy Fest, I went for an hour and 50 minutes. I'm like, well, we're going to start putting intervals in just for people's bladders. You don't do that.
I don't believe in intervals.
Yeah.
Because people can
You
go
tell
in and
people,
out.
bring a shiwi.
Correct.
Bring a catheter.
Or bring me a drink back.
Correct.
Like, and I send them out in bits where I'm like, just go now, I'm singing a song, or just, it's fine, just get me a scotch, whatever. So for me, if I have an interval, like I said to you, I lose momentum and I'll be backstage and all of a sudden, because after shows, I don't know if you're like me, I can't go out and party like other performers. I have to cry and I have to be in a dark space and decompress.
After a show, if I can continue the high of being on stage and can translate that into going out,
You
I
can
can
do
ride
that?
it.
Oh, I'd
Absolutely,
love to.
I can.
I've never been able to.
But if I don't, it's not that I cry, but I go into a full, like, blurred cotton wool depression of I'm
have to.
totally alone. I have no energy.
Yeah.
And I walk home to my whatever, the accom, and I can't even eat. And I'm the biggest eater around town.
Can't eat, can't sleep.
Can't eat, can't sleep,
Same.
just stare, either
Same.
doom scroll or stare at the wall.
But you know, that's okay. That's because you've had sensory overload. And I've learnt about autistic overload and sensory overload for people like me and probably you. If you do get to the point where, so we've given everything on stage, we've had the lights, we've had the clapping, and all of a sudden your brain literally cannot compute anymore. You're done.
Yeah.
And this is the thing.
That's what it feels like.
And so you have to go into this, you have to go and hibernate to recharge.
I have always put it as recharging, but you've said it much more eloquently.
Overload.
Yeah.
And it's once you realise it's that, I used to feel bad about it, but now I know what it is. It's like, no, I've got all these spidey senses pinging off when I'm on stage. And because, you're like me, I never switch off, so I'm always looking for something else to pick up on, or someone will say something in the crowd, or the band will do something, or, and I'll be on a train of thought. I've always got to be up and alert and alert. And if you're alert for 2 hours,
It's huge, mate.
we're fucked.
It's hyper, but I call it the shuffle. I call it shuffle because it's always like there's a croupier in the back of your head being like shuffling. What have you got? What house can I make? If someone throws me this, what can I make? Can I make a full house? Can I make a royal flush? Can I do
Yes.
this? And I call it a shuffle.
And it's rare to meet other performers who do that. So when I saw you, because I always kind of felt alone in the world, and when I saw you performing, I was like, oh my God, right, I'm not a freak. There's at least one other of us.
I can't think of anyone else who does what we specifically do in
We're
terms
peerless.
of
We're Beyonce. Can you imagine other comedians listening to this right now?
Oh, they don't.
Fuck you.
They don't listen to us. They don't because they're comedians.
They don't like us.
What are we? What are we? You just cheat. Someone once said that doing songs was cheating.
Oh, yeah. I got one comedian say I just had a 6-string applause machine. That's why I get claps.
That sounds like a great name for a book. 6-string applause machine. Yes, bitch. That's the album, bitch. That's you.
It
That's
is.
a guitar. You with a guitar, rock goddess, and that's the name of the album.
Not bitter.
6-string applause machine.
I've never been accepted in that community. And then for you, it's okay, I think, because you're this 6'4" bejawed goddess, blonde. Like, it's okay for you.
I mean,
think,
that blonde is not made by God.
but you are an impressive unit.
Yeah, but it's still a lab-made diamond.
It doesn't matter. No, the essence is there.
It's very interesting, isn't it? Because
You still have privilege in terms of
I absolutely do.
just because of your sheer impressiveness. Like, yes, you're queer, but you're very. I don't know. I just think no one would fuck with you, whereas everyone has tried to fuck with me.
Everyone has said to me when they've worked backstage, they go, "Oh my God, you're so nice. We thought you were going to be an asshole," because they've seen the act and they just went, "Oh, it's so forceful or impacting or whatever." And I certainly think also, even though queer, even though in makeup, the fact that I am male does count for a lot of that privilege. And I do think female comedians have it fucking rough. And especially if you're a female comedian who isn't conforming to purist stand-up, because comedy is still a boys' club. If you're not conforming to that purist stand-up, or you're not being one of the boys, or specifically if you're like you and go, I know my fucking audience. My audience are incredible, powerful, femme women, you know?
And gay men.
And gay men.
And the lesbians. I have everyone but the straights. And
Yeah.
oh, how terrible. What a terrible audience not to have. Imagine having all the people who organise everything.
Yeah.
Who pre-plan,
Yep.
who book things in advance. Why
Yep.
do my shows sell out in advance? Because of the people that follow me.
Exactly.
Because they all know how to organise shit.
Yeah, we know how to vote and book shows.
Exactly. Put on festivals.
That's it.
Like, it's truly, I wouldn't shift my audience for anything in the world. And it always blows my mind when I hear other comics saying, oh, she's only successful because of that. And it's like, but that's the whole point. Like, do you say that about other
You're still
people?
saying she's successful. So how are you?
I'm successful.
How are you doing on your $50 gig for 30 people at the Comics Lounge? What are you doing, bitch?
So you did the solo show.
I did the solo show.
That's it. You're in. You
And
loved
then
it.
Yeah, I loved it, and I realised the power of doing a season of a show and growing the material and the camaraderie of what you formed with a band that you played with for a long time. And I know in a solo show you have much more freedom with a musical number to go, well, I want to play here. Whereas in a cabaret where there are other acts, strict times. Acrobats have to stay warm for certain amounts of time. You can't just go on for 20 minutes of this. So I was, there's another level of freedom, another level of expression, another level of intensity, and an audience that sits with you for an hour is very different to an audience that sits with you hosting.
Yeah.
And that's a really wonderful dynamic to play with. So then I just kept going and going.
But
We went
when
to
did you
Edinburgh
decide
with
you were
it.
going to delve into trauma? Because you do.
Oh, I'm Jewish.
I wanted to press that. I don't know why.
Yeah, but you don't have a Fiddler on the Roof sample? How dare.
Anti-Semitism.
The Kanye West of podcasting.
But that's what I loved. The other thing I loved about your show is that there was literally workshop trauma in a leotard with a 7-piece. That's how I do it, man. Like, I mean, I work on it with a therapist and behind the scenes, but when I'm ready.
When you're ready, the most powerful thing anyone can ever do, I think, is process their trauma to the point where you can celebrate it and celebrate surviving it and hold that up as an example to other people that they can also do it too. That is the cornerstone of queer humour. It is the cornerstone of Jewish humour. Think of what the Jews have been through. And
I don't even know how to react to that adequately. Like, you've literally said, think of what the Jews have been through. And
it's so...
I'm like,
And it's not ending. It's still not ending.
no.
And how about this? And this is the thing that still makes me fucking choke up is when, and we're going to get very heavy here, so I'm very sorry.
Oh, they're used to it.
Great. When when the concentration camps were liberated at the end
I
of the
regret
Second
pressing
World
that
War,
noise now.
it's very funny.
I regret it so much.
When those camps were liberated at the end, everyone was released except for the queer prisoners because being queer, being gay men was still a crime, and they were sent back to prisons. So...
Hi, gay.
Stop it. He
No,
pressed it.
I pressed
Reuben
it. I
pressed
pressed
that
it.
button.
But I can do it because it's my trauma.
It is, but it's
It's past the parcel, but it's trauma we're unwrapping.
your
like-
stories from
but
your family history.
It's really dark. And I grew up with a lot of very dark stories because how's this for an example? I had an aunt who was a very difficult woman, not very liked by a lot of people. And I remember my mother saying to me that, Reuben, you've got to be nice to her because she survived Auschwitz and that changes a person. And we all went, yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
And then my grandmother piped up from the back. She was a bitch before she went to Auschwitz.
Oh my God! Just want to point out, Reuben is Jewish.
Yeah.
His family survived the Holocaust.
Yeah.
His trauma. He can make
So,
jokes.
but like that's there's an old Jewish saying of we love.
Bitch before.
How great. There was because there's this Jewish saying we laugh because what's the alternative? We laugh so we don't cry.
It's the name of my next book.
It is, but it's
That's so true. I honestly,
but
if
it
you
is
don't
the
laugh, you'll
it's
cry.
the ethnic mindset.
1,000,000% the ethnic mindset.
Every time some
My grandparents
Jewish
escaped Mussolini.
Correct.
Right? And like, you fuck.
kept the shoes though.
Oh. I'm not pressing that button.
Hi, gay.
West!
No, but this is
I think we both come from people who that's their defense mechanism,
Correct.
you know? And I think that's what we've taken into our
also,
comedy.
they then moved into super anglicised Aussie racist Australia at that time and then had to function in that society and bring up kids in that society. And in some ways, excuse me, didn't know that reflex still worked. In some ways, arm their children with something to help them through. And for us, that was humour. We grew up watching, the first movie I ever saw was Night at the Opera with the Marx Brothers.
Mine was The Amazing Race with Tony Curtis. The Great Race.
This explains so much about us.
That's the first movie I saw.
Also explains how you do your brows. It's interesting. It's just got that nice Tony Curtis like.
Twinkly eyes. Yeah, my dad sat me down in front of The Great Race. That's what I watched.
Camp.
Lucille Ball. Why am I saying
Lucille
it?
Ball.
Lucille Ball. Yeah, Bette Midler. These are all the
Yes.
things that I got put in front of.
Yep. All these things.
Oh.
So this is again why
Yeah.
my parents were like, really, huh? Fun.
You gay?
The other thing she said was, Reuben, it's 12:30 at night. Go to bed. I'll buy you condoms in the morning. I'm like, I'm 14, Mum. I'm already on prep. I'm barebacking.
Oh my God, stop it. So, yes, you workshop your trauma. But also, I feel like, do we need to get to a point? Is that unhealthy for us?
It's unhealthy I think it's unhealthy if we sit in it or if we don't provide a solution to it. If there isn't a spoken or even an unspoken solution, because we've all seen a lot of queer trauma stories, you know, and a lot of us are past it. Look at the success of Heartstopper as an example.
Oh, my favourite. So cute.
Couldn't take it, bored, nothing happened. But
Did you not watch it?
no, watched it.
Oh, didn't
But I'm
like
like,
it. Have you done Young Royals?
no, not done Young Royals.
Ooh,
But also,
you'll like that.
I'm at an age where I'm like, oh,
I don't know what he's going to say, gang. He's my friend. I have no idea what he's about to say. And I'm
I'm at an age
excited.
where the minute people are too young, I'm like, I don't want to.
Okay, I get it. I'm the same. I'm like, if it's a bit different, but I say if I could have birthed them, I can't really be watching this. And I know
It's
yours
not
is
for me.
Yeah.
It's like, but also it's this thing of going, like, I couldn't get into Stranger Things and It because I'm like, those kids will be dead in a second. I don't believe any of this. And moreover, they should be. They didn't call a responsible adult. Call an adult. You're not that interesting. You would be dead. You'd all be limbless in a sewer because you've all would have stuck your hand in looking for the fucking boat.
I love your review. Oh, I didn't watch Stranger Things. Don't watch it. They should be dead.
They should.
They should have known better.
Every
Where
parent.
are the parents?
Every parent
Where
is.
are the parents?
How can every parent who watched it not go, fuck, they should have called their parents? I mean, obviously not the girl. Her dad was. It's another thing. But for me, Heartstopper was beautiful, and I do understand it. But for me, narrative-wise, I still needed some form of conflict.
Yeah,
I
right.
needed something.
Yeah.
However, seeing beautiful positive queer stories like that and seeing what I didn't have in my upbringing and those beautiful moments that queer kids get to have now, like the freedom to date in high school instead of being terrified of any kind of male
Both
contact.
my girls date both genders, and it's nothing.
It's fantastic.
They all do.
It's fantastic.
Like-
It's so good.
Right? And it's just not even and I marvel at it.
But I had to go through a period of mourning that, again, when I realised
Yeah.
that people younger than me were having these things,
Of course.
that it's what we all fought for. And then I go, how amazing for them. And by virtue of how amazing for them, the drop-off of that was me going, I'll never have that. I never had that. And I have to go through a private period because it's no one's like,
I think every gay person your age, every queer person of our age and up, I think
which
that's
is what,
really,
25?
Yeah, thanks.
Great.
I think that's really interesting that you bring that up and maybe something you should explore because you're not the only person who would have had that grief.
No,
Absolutely not.
no.
And I think that's really, I reckon you should pop that down somewhere. Just do a show for the queers and the straight people to come to and understand.
I don't know if you've seen my show. It's called The Butcher's Back.
So good. No, but you know what I mean? Like the topic, still with The Butcher's Back, you still touched on very universal, the stuff with your dad and...
Yeah. Well, The Butcher's Back was designed specifically to be a stand-up heavy show because a lot of people in the comedy industry said the equivalent of, well, you're cabaret, not comedy, as if cabaret can't be funny.
Oh, I've just never heard this before. It's just shocking.
Yeah, you heard it as well.
What?
And I was just like going, okay,
Yeah,
you
watch me
fuckers.
go, motherfuckers.
I'm going to prove that I am funnier than half of your fucking stand-ups.
No, I would say most.
And can sing the house down, can dance,
Amen,
can
sister.
do crowd work, can get a standing ovation, and I can do it all in heels. Do that, Hughesy.
Oh my God, I love that. And yes, and I would say that to him all the time. He knows that. He knows of his limitations. I just want to cry. I feel so seen. I feel so seen by this human in front of me because fuck. But you can get away with saying that. If I said that, I'd be destroyed by the toy poppy syndrome people.
I personally don't necessarily think that's true because you have built an entire safety net, an entire world around you, from the podcast to the shows to the way you interact with your fans on such a personal, relatable level. The best thing about you, I mean, there are many amazing things about you.
Thanks. I love that this is where this podcast is going. Keep
But
going.
this is, well, I mean, this was in my briefing notes. I got told this by your producer and I got slipped a 50. Is that the actual focus of your work is the fans?
Oh,
Not the industry?
1,000,000%.
And I bet you every bottom dollar that any comedian out there who, well, not every, but like a lot of the mediocre ones, are obsessed with the industry more than the work and obsessed with the industry and how they're perceived in the industry more than how they're perceived by their fans, or second, how much they speak to their fans.
Oh my God, you are so true.
And also when you're dealing with shows that deal with heavy stuff,
It's important. You've got a responsibility.
correct, you have a duty of care because so my show, Butcher's Back, deals with a whole bunch of stuff, but specifically it deals with parental reactions to kids coming out and where those, and trying to get queer kids to maybe understand where their parents are coming from if they have a stumble. Like my dad did. He spoke from a place of like trauma that was passed down to him.
Yeah.
Specifically trauma about the Holocaust. And I didn't understand it at the time. And actually through understanding it, I realized I didn't need to forgive him because I understood him.
Yeah.
And we became like best friends after being estranged for a whole bunch of time, you know? But because of that, at the end of the show, I have queer kids bringing their parents to the show. I have queer people coming and saying, that's my story. I have parents bringing their queer kids to the show saying, that's my story. And I'm working, I'm trying to be better. And you know what? I have a responsibility to engage with the community I've created.
You do, and you do it so beautifully. And I think telling other people's stories in your own is the most powerful form of what we do.
And don't you find that it's, I tell the stories of my life that I feel are super specific to me, and then through the audience interaction at the end, I find out that they are universal. They
so broad.
That specific thing happened exactly to me.
Yes.
And that's what makes it magic. And that's
The
why,
nicher you go, the bigger impact it seems
Correct.
to have, right?
and this is where the answer to your question is that, is it a bad thing? Is it toxic to share trauma? Not if you provide a resolution or a community or a sense of comfort, safety around it. And that's the goal. Because we're trying to change things for the better. So that
Exactly, which is why I do what I do. I don't care about the industry. I don't care. I mean, we all want to,
the industry will have to catch up.
I want to get as big as I can.
To you.
Yes, well, exactly. But I want to I know, and you know what it is to be 2 a.m. crying in the dark, feeling alone, not knowing what the fuck's going on, and just feeling like you are in a pit. And if I
That was wet on Wellington. The walls are very dark there, but it's wiped clean.
But if we can stop someone from feeling like that through being ridiculous on stage.
Yeah, or let them know that when they
Great.
feel like that, other people do too, and it's okay, and it's part of a process.
Yeah, and we crawl out.
Yeah.
We do. And so this
And I've seen your shows, literally. We both are crawling through the audience on a hand and knee. Because that's the best part about us, is we recognise that there is supreme dignity and clowning ridiculousness. And that means that on stage, there is no dignity. There is no image to uphold. And what that means is it's fearless. It's like watching a rock show, but with dick jokes.
100%. And sometimes, in my case, which I'm going to lend to you, the giant inflatable dick. A literal dick.
You don't need it back, though, right?
No,
In
you can have it
factory
forever.
settings. Because I want to be, oh my God, the name's just gone out of my head and I'm trying to think about it. Two sisters. Do now always got my own heart.
Oh.
Nancy Wilson. I want to be Anne and Nancy Wilson.
Well, I mean, I keep getting told, do you know when people say, there's not enough room for you and Reuben, you could never work together, you would hate each other, da-da-da. Do you know when people say that to me? I'm like,
Who said that to
everyone.
you?
When I mentioned I've fallen in love with Reuben, the next response was, you're too similar.
I have a harpoon gun and a dream. Let's do this.
The thing is, I only want to champion people like us.
Correct.
I want more of us.
What I love is, you know what, that tells a lot about how people view us or how people project on us, because what they see is a massive ego. What they see is this massive ego, one, because that's the stereotype that's come before, and two, I think it's because they're projecting. So then, I don't know why. But it's like, if you don't understand that the core of this is celebration, uplifting, change, like, can you...
Fuck
You
off.
know, you and me singing Dead Kennedys, Too Drunk to Fuck? Great. Genius. Let's try it.
I just feel like there's this idea that there's not enough eyes to go around. You know, like it's this some kind of finite. It's bizarre.
There's no I in team, but there's a U in cunt.
Thank you. Yeah.
That is an M Rusciano original that I am going to get tattooed on my gooch.
What's a gooch?
Oh, it's a small fishing nation wedged between Estonia and Latvia. It's
Hi, gay.
Right, I want to talk to you about something serious because we've already been going 43 minutes.
hit me.
I assumed you were neurodivergent when we met. Most performers that I come across and become friends with, turns out we're all part of the same magic brain situation. You then, I think I sent you into a bit of a spiral when I explained.
Oh, you broke me. No, you broke me.
So you're not diagnosed with
Not
anything.
diagnosed. I remember my mum mentioned something about when I was a child, or about me saying, "Oh yeah, as a kid we thought about," because I was a real handful as a kid.
Same.
Shock horror.
What?
And I think my mum said something about we just never wanted any kind of you to be medicated. So I can't remember if they went through with the test or if I did the test, or it's one of those things that's lost. But then we were talking, and I was talking about a situation I was going through with a friend of mine where I was like, oh, I just feel like I'm about to lose a friend. And then you mentioned...
Rejection sensitivity dysphoria.
And you explained it to me. And as you explained it to me, it was like a Pixar animation of me just slowly cracking, like I was made of glass, cracking, and then just shattering into a million pieces in front of you in a CBD bistro into my third margarita.
We had so many margaritas. I don't know. And I shouldn't pathologize and assume, especially with people I love and care about. But I don't know. I figure because you and I function on the same plane that there's got to be something going on there for you.
Well, you've mentioned a whole bunch of things that resonated, like just hit me like a shotgun, like a train. So hit me like a freight train.
But I just felt like you're in pain
And
I wanted to help.
well, it resonated, and I've got an appointment with my GP in about a week when I'm back from the next cruise to go and just talk about it.
Good.
Talk about it and see.
And you don't have to medicate. You know, there's so many other options.
Oh, I have no worries about medicating.
I know, darling.
I have no fear of drugs.
It's true, he doesn't.
I have a great story on that, by the way, the next. And then, so I'm just going to see. I'm just going to see what it is.
Because you speak of grief about young queer Reuben, right?
Yeah.
Be prepared for that to come for young neurodivergent Reuben, if that's the case.
Oh, no, yeah.
Because that's what hit me. And
Really?
it still does. I still feel really sad because I just couldn't figure out why the fuck I didn't fit in and why everyone was finding the easy stuff easy. Because I'm really good at hard shit, Ruby. Like, I'm really good at hard things and I'm really bad at easy
We have
things.
always run before we could walk.
Yeah.
It's like, so it resonates for me in terms of like singing. I can do the hard
Straight off,
stuff,
same.
straight up the back. But the simple like groundwork of breathing and technique and all that stuff, it never sinks in.
My warm-up's my first song.
Correct. Oh my God. It was Reuben, how do you warm up?
First song.
First song, bitch.
Yeah, and they all know that. My band know that too.
Yeah.
It's fine. Like it's but all this stuff that I thought were character flaws and I developed great shame around. When you realise that actually you can't help it. These are things that are just how you are wired. No more than you can help being a queer person. No more than you can help anything. Me being a cunt.
that's actually a choice. It's been proven. Oh, choose to be gay.
Well, good choice.
Yeah, because I love being beaten up and shit on my dick.
Oh God.
Hi, gay.
I love pulling out and singing Almond Magnum. It's heaven.
Hi, gay.
How you video?
Help.
So I'm just saying, if this is a thing that happens and you are neurodivergent, it's a whole other thing to go through.
Well, look, I've gone through a lot.
You really have. And
Let's
if anyone
keep going. If anyone can take it.
So what name of his autobiography?
Yeah.
So what's next before I let you go? And my audience are going to fall in love with you and we have to do something together at some point.
Please, I'd love to.
We need to. I don't even know how. We're both bad at organising shit, but
And we're both very busy.
so bizarre.
We should just record a duet.
Or yes, but also just simple things like if you're doing stuff and you want me to come and sing with you or whatever, like you don't have to pay me. I'll just show up.
Heaven
Great.
on a stick.
But
Great,
yeah-
I hate paying people.
Oh, me too. No, I don't actually. I feel very guilty.
It's the best part of it.
I love paying.
You get
All the
to
people who
go-
work for me are my friends. Oh, a million%.
How great is that when
It's
you're like,
so good when you can
here,
hire
have you
your
got the
friends.
money? Great, because I can't stand owing anyone anything.
Oh, me neither.
I can't stand having any kind of thing hanging over me. I'm like, get it out, get it out, get it done, get it in.
You're
get it
Jewish.
done.
I'm Italian.
Rip the band.
I love you so much. Thank you for being here.
It's actually a joy. Now we're going to go and decompress in an isolation tank.
Exhausted.
I need a nap.
Hi, gay.
Free Time Tuesday on Emsolation is a Spotify exclusive podcast hosted and produced by Em Russiano, recorded and edited at Down the Hill Studios by Ezekiel Fenn. A brand new episode of Emsolation with Em Russiano drops every Thursday, 6 a.m. only on Spotify.